Episode 383. Keeping it G. The Flex On Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. A very special episode. We'll get into that shortly. But we are kicking off right after our Sports and Blackness series, getting into Women's History Month. And we're starting off with a heavy hitter. We'll get to that shortly as well. The gang is all here. We're talking about it all. Lamar Jackson latest, NFL free agency, and the Ja Morant saga. Of course, we get goofy with Crevonte and so much more. Flex Zone, episode 383. You guys know the drill. Subscribe, like, share, vote on the poll. New episode of the Flex Zone coming to you live. That's right, lasting longer than 60 plus minutes and sudden death like we saw last night on Revolution in that wonderful Iron Man match. It is the Flex Zone Podcast, fellas. Only place giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
It is episode 383. Fresh off of our Sports and Blackness series, we jump into not only my birthday month, but Women's History Month. And speaking of which, drop those birthday emojis in the chat because it is God's favorite host's birthday. And everybody, just show love for God's favorite host.
Happy birthday!
You know,
30.
you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up for myself. But yes, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit all that, vote on the poll, let us know your thoughts on all the craziness going on in the world of sports. And we have another illustrious guest kicking off Women's History Month. We'll get to that shortly. But this next man, he is a social media producer. He is my brother. We call him the Meat Man, Big Raj. What's
We don't
going
call
on,
him
my
that.
brother?
No, that's not a we thing. That is not a we thing.
But
You be
Crevonte,
real individual when you say that.
it's only one way to intro this man.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
Big Raj, how you feeling, brother?
You know you hurt Crevonte when you do that as well, by the way. You don't just
Oh, don't worry. Crevonte has something this week as well. You'll see shortly. No one is exempt.
Anyways, I had a phenomenal weekend. Saw a great pay-per-view this weekend. Saw Creed 3. Saw the machismo, black men with muscular shirts. They was packing a lot of meat as well. They was
Cut them off.
Sweaty men smacking me. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject.
Cut them off.
My guest tonight, mental health and can't wait to get back.
Cut them off.
Is that me with the echo?
I think that's you.
Hold on. How about now? We good? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
we're good. All right. Okay. Appreciate it. But this next man, he is the captain of the goofy ship. He is the Commandalorian. He is my brother, and I guess I'm over the hill now because I've been calling him over the hill for the past few years as well. But as they always say, he who laughs last laughs best. He is the Commandalorian, and we salute him on this show. Crevonte.
Hey man, we back at it. Welcome.
Commanders, fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Wow.
Commanders.
Come on back, Crevonte. You know you love the song, man. Come
on, man. You don't like
Fight
that
for
intro?
those
You don't like the
Commanders,
new? You don't like it? You don't like it? You don't like it?
Absolutely hated it. I don't want to say nothing else. I was about to tell y'all how good my weekend was, how much I love Mondays, but nah, I don't care anymore. I hate all of it now. Can't believe you played that garbage. Absolutely hate it. But
Celebrate you, my brother.
nonetheless, good things are to come for the Commanders.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Next man, man of 1,000 nicknames. He is the straw that stirs the drink. Proud of the East Side Savior, Misbehavior, the professor, the dean of Balsall Hall University, and hopefully the man that can help Lamar Jackson get this contract Drizzy, Dre, my brother. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? Byron, happy birthday to you again, brother. Welcome to the 30 and Over Club.
Hey, look, we was in Melbourne before I was even able to be. So shout out to you.
Wow, talk about a throwback. Man, let me know if you want to bring it back one more time, man. One time for the one time.
Hey, you already know, brother. We're long
overdue. They'll be like, we waited on you.
Oh, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat telling me happy birthday, by the way, as well. But as we mentioned, episode 383 is coming your way right now. We're kicking off Women's History Month. It has started. We're starting with another illustrious guest, another heavy hitter here in the Flex Zone podcast. This lady is a visionary. She's a motivational speaker. She's an author. She's a life coach, and she's a health and wellness coach, business consultant, entrepreneur, mental health consultant, and self-publishing coach. Coming into the Flex Zone Palace for the first time, hopefully not the last, she is a queen, kicking off Women's History Month. Dr. Monifa Jones, everybody give it up for her as she enters the Flex Zone building. Doctor, what's going on?
Hello, how are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. Kicking off Women's History Month, you are batting leadoff. For those who may not know who you are, let them know what do you do and how they can keep up with you.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Dr. Monifa Jones. I'm a master's level psychologist. So I've been doing outpatient mental health services for over 25 years. I directed outpatient mental health at Good Samaritan Hospital for over 20 years. Also was a psychology professor, teaching Psych 101 and Psych 104, intro to psychology and developmental psychology. In addition to that, motivational speaker, traveling around, supporting people through traumas and helping them to understand that feeling good is a strategy. That's my expertise. And I'm always super excited to serve the community.
Well, we appreciate you giving us some time, and we're going to get right into it. So, fellas, floor is yours.
Okay, I guess I'll start out. My first question would be, since we're a sports show, how important is it that athletes take care of their mental health in addition to their physical health?
Wow, you starting off with a heavy hitter. In my introduction, I didn't mention that I was the author of my book, The Healing Directory.
We got you.
Yes. Thank you, Andre. Super important for athletes to maintain their mental health status. And the reason why that is because, especially as African Americans, because we always have to present ourselves and they expect us to be the absolute best. We're treated the absolute worst, but they expect us to be the absolute best in sports. And if you think about the pressure to maintain your best, you think about the pressure that you receive. It can be severe depression and severe anxiety, living up to other people's expectations, living up to the masses who are very, very opinionated. One day they love you, the next day they hate you. It depends on what you're able to bring to the masses. And so to be on that type of trajectory for your life, wow, it is so unstable. So it is immensely important.
My question is, what made you get into mental health?
Great question. So I wrote the book called The Healing Directory, and they say you write the book that you need yourself. So I actually started off in elementary education, and I was going to be the greatest teacher on this planet because I love to teach and to tutor young kids. And I just thought that was where I belonged until I went to an outpatient mental health program, and they asked me to direct the after school program to help children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. As a result of helping families with ADHD and finding out that there were so many more symptoms associated with the diagnosis other than hyperactivity, because of the homes they lived in, the families they came from, the high, usage of drugs and alcoholism, and unfortunately, rape and molestation, and unfortunately, income status in the home. it just opened up a whole can of worms that I was not prepared for as a very young teacher. But then when I went my master's and beyond, I switched my major and I went straight into psychology. I kind of found my home. I come from a background of I had alcoholism in my home, violence in my home. I came from domestic violence. I was shot when I was 14 years old, and I buried 2 sons myself. So when it came to the point where I was reaching out to the community, I had great compassion because I had experienced it first myself. And so it was super easy for me to kind of delve into that area and to help support.
Okay.
Whew, that is heavy, Dr. Jones. So I work in recreational parks. I'm a director at a recreation center, Heron Run Recreation Center in Northeast Baltimore. And so naturally I deal with a lot of kids that have several laundry lists of things that they go through on a daily basis, and then they come to me, and it's all love for me, but they don't necessarily get the same love, outside of my workplace. How important is it to give grace to these kids, because it's so easy just to write off all the teenagers and all the young children now. So how important is it to give grace with all that's going on in the world and our city in particular?
Thank you so much. First off, hats off. When we see military, we see police officers, we like, thank you for your service. But when I see someone that work in recreation and parks, I want to say thank you for your service, because you're doing great work in the community. And that's a great question. But when you're talking about grace, we have to understand that people treat others the way they feel about themselves. It's very, very clear that if a child is having challenges and say they're using profanity or they're violent or somehow they got caught up in addictions, whether it be marijuana or alcohol or drugs, or it doesn't matter what it is. It could be gambling, it could be sex, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they treat you the way they feel about themselves. So if someone is disrespecting you, the kids like, you have to respect me. No. If they're disrespecting you, it's because they don't value themselves. And so when we see that, that's not the time to become judgmental. That's the time to understand that they need additional support. So it's amazing that you work at recreation and parks, linking it back to sports. Sports is amazing when it comes to mental health. Moving your physical body helps you to move your mind. We always have to be not seeking for perfection, but seeking for progression. And if we're moving our bodies, it comes a point where we learn to be flexible and we learn to flow. Because if we are so structured in our bodies that we won't move it, that we won't understand, like my 3 sons played football. They played it in high school, in middle school, in leagues, in college. And to understand, when I learned, I had to read a book called Football for Dummies, because I was like, what's going on? I'm anemic. I'm standing outside in the cold, freezing to death, screaming for my kids playing football. My son played basketball as well. He was number 11, biggest boy on the team. He was like the Shaq of the team. And I would just scream and yell. And I said, my son's so nice, they named him number 1 twice, y'all. Y'all better get excited. That's all I knew was to scream. They said, lady, go sit down somewhere. Like, I knew how to support them with that. But when I found out all them little lines and points, and like, you have to be a genius. There's no such thing as a dumb job. You have to be a genius to understand all of those plays and to be able to move your body and to be flexible. And so all of the athletes who have all these skills, talents, abilities, you need a mindset to match that. As a matter of fact, psychologically, you have to be strong. You have to have grit. You have to be able to grind, to be able to hustle on any type of field and be able to withstand all of that. So hats off, much love and respect.
So, Doc, can I ask you about now with the exposure of social media with these young kids at 6th, 7th, 8th, even 5th grade, you hear about kids being recruited and they have social media pages and the NIL where they're able to capitalize off of their likeness and just the pressure. And we've seen it even translate to the pros with Kyrie Irvings and Ben Simmons and even recently with the John Morant situation. How do you think that translates? And like you, Crevonte, mentioned about seeing kids like this every day in our city, how does that affect these kids mentally? Because that's all they know from an early age. They're in the spotlight.
Right. I would definitely say that if they do not have a phenomenal, strong family support system, it's almost inevitable that they're not going to make it. And I don't want to speak that over anyone, but just understanding the way social media works and how it glorifies people. But this is the thing. We only get the highlights, right? We only get when they're doing great and when they're progressing and when they're celebrated. We don't see when they're drinking on the weekends. We don't see when they can't look themselves in the mirror and be proud of themselves. So, being able to adjust yourself and to understand that, like, your mentality is everything. It rules the rest of your life. And unfortunately, some of us think, well, it's kind of important. It's kind of the main thing. I say it's the only thing, because if you don't have a grasp on your mindset, if you don't have a grasp on your mentality, if you don't understand that psychology is the driving force of your life, is only but so far you're going to go before you unfortunately go down the rabbit hole. So our young kids being, glorified, I personally, I don't love that. And I'm going to tell you why, because they need the ability to withstand that. And unless you have a super strong parental structure at home, it's going to be so tough to know that when you're that young, everybody's loving you. You have 1 million followers. Everybody thinks you're amazing. But what happens when you're 14 and nobody's calling your name? Can you handle that? What happens when you're going off to high school and college and nobody knows you anymore? Like, even the adults can't handle that. I love, what is his name? Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he saved 87%. We not have to get deep into budgeting and all with my sons. Of course, it was super important. Saving 80% of what he received, knowing that many of his colleagues, they were bankrupt. The whole world is calling your name. Imagine that you live in a multi-million-dollar mansion. You're driving any car that you want. So these kids that you're talking about, they think that's what their life is going to be. They already on that road. And the parents who are not well educated, they're excited because guess what? They see their lives changing. Most of the parents are struggling. Most of the parents are trying to figure it out. So if their child is their ticket to freedom, to financial freedom, what happens? The child gets lost in the sauce. You need the strongest spiritual foundation, family support system to survive that.
I'm glad that you brought up the spiritual aspect because you are a pastor. So as a minister, how important is it to have that faith base for mental health?
Well, thank you so much. I'm not a pastor, but thank you so much.
Minister.
Yeah, I do have a doctoral degree in ministry, but that's one of my doctoral degrees. But spirituality, again, is priority because it grounds you. Understanding that people get caught up in religion. I'm not a religious person by far. I'm super spiritual. As a matter of fact, love is my religion. If you don't know the language of love, don't talk to me about spirituality at all. But I feel that it is super immensely important. And if anyone has that as a foundation, not in terms of do you go to church on Sunday, not in terms of are you on your knees praying every Wednesday in Bible study, not that. Spirituality in forms of, do you understand that we are all connected? Do you understand that we are all one? Do you understand that your life matters and that you were born for a purpose? And do you understand that you are connected? We are all connected. So what are you here to give? Most of the times when people get into celebrity mode, they want to know what they're here to receive. And they want to know, do you want my autograph? Where's my money? And all of this. But what are you here to give? And when you have a spiritual foundation, you understand that your influence should be used for the greater good. You understand that you're connected. You understand that if you are in the limelight, that what you do affects the little boy, you're his role model. When you're spiritually grounded, it's super important to go across all platforms.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
What is it going to take for us as a whole, us as Black people, to break out of the victimhood mentality? As you can see, we've been through the Jim Crow era. We've been through drugs through our communities. We see a lot of goofy stuff that's going on television. The stuff with John Morant, putting a gun to his head, on Instagram, that kind of foolishness. Like, what is it going to take for us to push past that? Push past that.
Man, it's going to take a collective. I'm talking about a strong, massive, connective effort. We used to have heroes. We used to could call on the Malcolm X's and the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, and we saw our heroes, and we said, oh, we're going to follow them. So I think what our community needs is to understand that we are the superheroes. We need no one outside of us to save us. If we put our collective money together, we put our collective mind together, we put our collective, just our power together, we are phenomenal. The whole world is watching us. When all of the athletes, the top, they're watching us. If they want to know the next dance, they're watching us. If they want entertainment, they are watching us. Why? Because we are the leaders. The whole world knows that we are the leaders, but we don't know. We don't know. So we're always asking permission. We're always seeking approval. But if we really, really learn to found the power within ourselves and edify our own community and edify the Black man, that's a whole nother conversation that your show doesn't have enough time for. I'm about to do a show for women just to teach them how to honor the Black man. The Black man is the greatest being on the whole entire planet. But because the media doesn't portray him as such, because, we have to keep him in his place because we don't want him to rise up and find out he's the king now. He might kind of take over. So let's keep him in a place where we can control him. And so the women, we fell suit. We like, where's my child? Where's this? And no. You honor the Black man. You honor the king of our community and watch them stand up. Watch them stand up. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A pastor was going around preaching and everything. He wasn't home that much. He's traveling all over the world. He bought his daughter a Barbie doll. And when she came home, oh, thank you, Daddy. This is so amazing. Thank you. Didn't see her much. He just kept buying her. Do you know her whole room was full of Barbie dolls? You know why? Because she was appreciative. She honored him. She celebrated him every time he came home. Not, where were you? Why were you gone, Mom? Why you don't have enough money? No. So in our community, we need some heroes. Our heroes are the Black man. I'm just going to say it. I believe that. We need the heroes to stand up, and we need to stand behind you guys to let you know it's okay for you to lead, and we have your back. But our heroes are white. I'm sorry. Our heroes have the complexion with the connection. They don't look like us, so we don't know that we are powerful. But we're the true superheroes. You better get excited about that.
I don't even know how to follow that up. That's a mic drop right there. If I ever heard of one. Oh, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. With everybody. Engraven, we see you in here, brother. Much love to you, Engraven, Snowman, Mark, everybody. Y'all got anything? Because I gotta ask a question, but y'all can go ahead if y'all got something.
Go ahead.
Get in there, Byron. Get in there, man. Get some.
I want to ask you this. And then I hope everybody's listening, and we might clip it and put it on. You are a black queen. You're a Black mother. You have had sons who have been athletes. There's a quarterback in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, and he is in a contract. I won't say dispute, but there's a little bit of a miscommunication between the two sides. And as we know, Lamar Jackson is represented by his mother, his Black mother. And he listens to everything she says, as I listen to my mother, and we all listen to our mothers. And there is speculation that his team, his camp, They want a fully guaranteed contract, $200+ million. And apparently he's not budging off of that. And apparently we heard the Ravens owners, the man who signs the checks, the white man, we can say it, say he's not giving a fully guaranteed contract. Now, I want to ask you, if you were in that position advising your superstar quarterback son, who has been a superstar, as we mentioned, since 5th, 6th grade, out of the slums of Florida, makes it to the big time, transforms not only an organization, but really a city in Baltimore to get behind him. And you hear these words, these comments from the ownership in the team saying they're not going to give him a fully guarantee, even though he has changed life here. How would you advise him moving forward? Would you say don't budge on the fully guaranteed, or would you say, okay, we might not get fully guaranteed, but we can get other things maybe in the contract?
Wow, great question. First of all, I would say, is that all? Is that all you want? Is that all you're requesting? Make sure you request your worth and then add text to it. Because here's the thing. You're the only one that know your worth. And this is the thing. If you're a business, if you're a franchise, which he is, if you're a business and you are branding yourself, do you know what people are going to pay? The price you request. That's what they're going to pay. But in order for them to pay that, you must know who you are first. I actually went to a business conference and I heard Michael Phelps, he's a top Olympian. And I'm like, why is he at this business conference? He was one of the speakers. But I was so glad he was there because he made an immense impact on me. And he basically stated that the reason why he became the best in the world was because he practiced every single day. He basically said that I had to be at the school at 5 o'clock in the morning on my birthday, on Christmas, on New Year's Day, on Thanksgiving, because when my coach told me I will make you the best in the world if you follow suit. And so he said, when you're working out Monday through Friday and Monday through Wednesday, by Wednesday you get your stride, you're good. By Friday you're amazing, but then the weekend everybody's partying. So all the other sports teams by Friday, on the weekend, they're partying, they're hanging out. On Monday, they're trying to get their time back. By Wednesday, they get their time back. By Friday, they're great in the groove, but then they're partying again. By Monday, they get their time back. So what's going to happen with you is you're going to have your time on Monday. And when you come back next Monday, you're going to beat your time. When you come back next Monday, you're going to beat your time. And when you come back next Monday, you're going to be the best. So I absolutely believe there is no way in the world that Lamar Jackson does not have a phenomenal, consistent work ethic. Impossible for him to get to where he was. So why would we take other people, celebrate them, make sure they're paid what they're worth? I've seen people do less and get paid more. But when it comes to us, we have to think about it. But somebody has to take a stand. Somebody. And what if you sacrifice? Oh my God, you could have gotten 5 or 100. Why would you even sacrifice that? People wish they could have what you have. Ask for what you're worth and then add tax to it. Stand on your beliefs. Stand on your values, because if you don't request it, no one else is going to walk and say, you know what? You only asked me for a 200 million. I think I should give you 500 million. It's not happening anywhere. But what if he made a stand? What if he made a difference? What if he stood up for what he believed in? And as a mama, I remember my son's the vice president of my clinic, and one of the therapists came to him and they said, excuse me, sir, can you let me know when you have free time? And so my son looked on his schedule and he says, I probably could meet you Tuesday at 3 o'clock. And I said, excuse me, son. I said, get in this office Tuesday at 3 o'clock. I said, what did you say? I said, that therapist asked you, when will you have free time? I said, you have no free time. You have no free time. Your time is expensive. And when you understand that your time is expensive, and when you understand, say you have a goal to make $1 million a year, you break that down, that's $500 an hour. So everybody that steals 1 hour from you just stole $500, or you don't even believe you're worth even $1 million in 1 year. What, are you kidding me? Seven figures in 1 calendar year? So you're going to let people talk to you any kind of way. You're going to let people waste your time. You're going to let people change your mindset, how you feel about yourself, so that they can come and tell you, oh, we're just going to give you a couple of dollars. Just accept it. No. The answer is absolutely not. Ask for what you're worth, then add tax to it. Yes.
We might need you to come mediate that situation. Call you. Hey, that's a great analysis right there.
I love it.
That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. I ain't been in school.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I haven't been to school in some time, but this is way more enjoyable than those days. I definitely appreciate you, even though it's not over yet. But I just want to say I appreciate you.
Yeah, you just never know when you take a stand. It always feels like you're going backwards. It always feels like you may not make it. You know, fear of the unknown, right? Mm-hmm. But we cannot fear the unknown. We can't fear anything. We just have to understand, you know, and sometimes you got to take a stand. And sometimes in order to take a stand, you take a fall. You know, when you have a bow and arrow, in order for it to go as far as it can possibly go, it has to pull back. We don't like the pull back. We only like the going forward. And sometimes that's what life takes. It's all about the ebbs and flows, all about it. I love you guys.
You left us speechless, honestly. That was
I can tell.
I just had to ask the question while I was on my mind. I didn't want to forget it because I'm trying to host the show and do all that, but I just want to get that in there.
I mean, like you said, Byron, how do you follow up that? You know,
I feel like I need to play some Anita Baker. Hold on, and clean something. That's what I need to do.
I can tell you guys about the book.
Yes. How can they purchase the book? I'm gonna put Dre back on the screen so he can show how can they purchase the book. How can they keep up with what you got going on? I know you mentioned you have a clinic. How can they keep up with what you have going on in the community? And then what do you have going on to people, to mental health resources, things like that?
Thank you so much. So my book is called The Healing Directory, and it's about healing from within. And a lot of our community, we all need, every single person on the planet needs that. And so it's a book in a 90-day journal, and it talks about, I don't want you guys to think it's just for ladies. It's absolutely not. It talks about the keys to self-love, which is the beginning of one's life. If you don't love yourself, if you don't understand that concept, that is the foundation and the creation of the rest of your life. If your life starts at self-love. So if you're not even there, we haven't even started yet, right? So the keys to self-love. The second thing is how to stop self-sabotage. Think about all of the athletes that live by the opinions of others. You know, validation is for parking. Get excited about that. We don't need to be validated by others. We don't need to have others' opinions at all. We need to understand who we are, walk in that, and to respect and attract to ourselves what we want. The final chapter is turning your pain into purpose. And our people know that well more than anybody on the planet, turning your wounds into wisdom, understanding that what you are called to do in this planet is what you have overcome. We have people who are car mechanics out there cooking. We have people who are chefs under cars. People don't know. Everybody's misplaced. Everybody is displaced. And so the Healing Directory says, if you don't have 5 minutes, you don't have a life. Every man, every woman, every child needs to meditate and sit by themselves for 5 minutes. They're going to school. They're going to church. They're looking for the bag. Listen, stop looking for the bag. You are the bag. When you elevate yourself, when you empower yourself, you will attract to yourself every single thing that you desire. But nobody knows that because they don't spend 5 minutes by themselves. Because, you know, when we get on the elevator, we see a TV. When we pump our gas, we see a TV. When we're on our phones, we all day, we so addicted. We cannot sit for a minute with no noise, no music, no distraction, and just focus within. Have you ever just heard your own heartbeat? Have you ever just sat still and heard yourself breathe? Every answer you need is inside of you, but we're always looking outside of us. So the Healing Directory basically says, everybody bring it on back in. And I need you to sit down for just 5. You have 24 hours in a day. You can do whatever you want to do with the 23 hours and 55 minutes. But you better take if you don't have 5 minutes, you don't have a life. Don't tell me you're doing a YouTube show. Don't tell me you're on StreamYard. Don't tell me you're on social media. Don't tell me you're transforming children in a recreation center and you don't transform yourself first. The only thing we can give out is who we are, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. My cup must fill up all the way in order for me to pour into yours. And so if I don't spend that time, I have absolutely nothing to give, whether it be on the playing field of sports or whether it be on the playing field of life. I will have nothing. I will be depleted. And so I'm sorry, you asked me where it is. Okay. So my book is available in paperback, hardback, and Kindle form on Amazon. And it's called The Healing Directory. My pen name, my author name is The Messenger Monifa, because I am the message from within. So my gift is to tell you what your soul is saying to you so you can redirect yourself. A lot of people call me a mind reader. I am not. I can read very well body language. And a lot of times when I speak to people, they just understand and they feel it. And they're like, oh my Lord, you're talking to me. So I do a healing trauma show every single day, Monday through Friday, live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am on Facebook under Dr. Monifa Jones. I am on Instagram under my pen name, The Messenger Monifa, and I'm super excited to serve the community. I teach people how to write their books. It took me 20 years. I can show you how to self-publish. I got a course, a blueprint that'll show you how to get all of those ideas out of your head and down on paper in no time for almost nothing. So I'm super excited about helping everybody to put all this good karma in the world, so we could all stop walking in circles and bumping our heads. We all trying to find our own way. Why? When there are people before us who've already accomplished it, why are we trying to find our own way? Let's tap into one another. Every last one of you guys. I'm just proud of what you're doing. I'm proud to see you guys come together in unity. Every one of you guys have your own unique, special talents that you bring to us. But how many of the people who watch you, or how many people in the world have experienced some of the things that you guys have experienced? They don't know. They just see you up here laughing and talking and very informed and having a great time. But in order for you to be who you are, to look towards success, and I know you guys are going to just make the most hugest impact. They always think because it's ripples in the water. Don't worry. Wait for it. And you are absolutely that person prior. You're that person prior to jumping on here now. So I'm excited that we can offer that to the world. Yes.
Dr. Monifa Jones just dropping jewels, dropping bars. I mean, we gotta give it up for her one more time. Again, don't forget to check out her book. You can check it out on Amazon. Let me make sure I put that up so everybody can see it on Amazon. The Healing Directory. Look her up. Her show, Monday through Fridays, 5 p.m. We're going to make sure we get all the information, put it in there, and get it out to you guys as well. And got to come back, Doc. We got to get you back on here. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you,
One more
Doctor.
time. Give it up.
Thank you
for
so
Dr.
much.
Monifa Jones, The Healing Directory on Amazon.com, on your Kindle, wherever you get your books, goddammit. Support this queen as she's preaching and valuing the black man. We appreciate you, queen. And thank you for kicking off Women's History Month with us here on the Flex Zone.
Absolutely.
Thank you once again,
so much.
Dr. Monifa. Big shout out to Dr. Jones, doing just amazing work in the community. Bringing the bars. I mean, she said, hey, know your worth and add tax. So if you don't learn anything else from this show, remember that in whatever you do and continue the good work that she does. And we'll have her back and get more of that great talk. And we'll see how things play out as well. But a lot to get into, fellas, today is everybody here, if you can. We are 3 subscribers away from 1,300. Some housekeeping real quick. It is my birthday. God's favorite host. You see me on here throughout the days, throughout the weeks, the late nights, the early mornings, the videos, the content. You see my face. You see me. You see the content, the work that we do here. Help a brother out. If you got any type of YouTube, anybody you know on YouTube, take your phone, take your kid's phone, take your homegirl, your side chick, your wife, your husband. You got a ghost account. You got a burner account like KD. Go to the Flex Zone Podcast. Hit the freaking subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Help us out. And if you want to know what I want for my birthday, donate to the Flex Zone. Hashtag the Flex Zone One. We are the only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. We were here for over 4 hours last night. We're here
well,
tonight.
actually, we want you to hit that as well. But if you can, I mean, hit that super chat.
Yes,
that super chat.
Yes, super chat. Yes, Raj. Thank you. I forgot all about the super chat. Super chatters. Let us know your thoughts. What you like, what you don't like about the show, what you want to see, what are we not covering? Let us know. We're here for you. We're nothing without you, Flex Zone family, and all of our wonderful contributors like Dr. Monifa Jones. So I just wanted to do some housekeeping. We're getting into the Lamar stuff. We're going to get into the Ja Morant. We got goofies. We're going to get into all of that as we do here on the Flex Zone. So hit the subscribe button. Support us. Everybody out there, we appreciate the support. Trying to keep growing. So we're 3 away. Let's get there tonight. Let's end my birthday on a high note. So let's get into some of these hot topics. Let's go to Ja Morant. Let's go to Ja Morant. Then we'll work to the NFL because I know Crevonte has Goofy and I know he'll get more into it from his perspective as well. But I want to talk about the Ja Morant saga. Early Saturday morning, so I guess it was late Friday night because they were in Denver, 3-hour time difference. I believe about 5 a.m. Instagram Live. There were rumblings that he was posted on live with the gun and he has been doing things all the past year. One of his friends is banned from the FedEx Forum because of his goofiness. They're pointing a red dot at Pacers players they're traveling with. Apparently, a teenager was punched as well in this whole saga with Ja Morant. And it's really been goofy. And we even heard Jalen Rose speak recently about his mishaps as a young player. Ja Morant, only 23 years old. So I don't want to put the man down and condemn him because he is one of the faces of the NBA. But this whole saga, suspended 2 games, looks like it's going to be longer. He says he needs to find better ways to deal with mental health and stress, etc. Raj, I want to start with you, brother. This whole saga, man. How are you feeling? And what do you think happens with Ja Morant? I mean, let's not forget this team is second in the West, and they won last night. They beat the Clippers. It came back from double digits. I looked up while I was watching the AEW pay-per-view. They're a good team. They can compete now. And I mean, what are your thoughts, man? This is sadly some of the stuff we just talked about with Dr. Jones.
I'm highly disappointed in Ja Morant. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not sure what's going on with him mentally, but he is definitely letting Nas down. If you know the song, it's a J. Cole song. He's letting Nas down. But on a serious note, for real, brandishing a gun is never a good thing, especially on Instagram. And you already have the incident where Gilbert Arenas got suspended. I think for the whole entire year or something like that when he was doing his little gun references like this. It's just a goofy thing that he's doing for real. And all these incidents has led up to this. And he got a 2-game suspension, but if he actually carried the gun on the Denver plane or coming from Denver on the plane, he's liable to get 50 games. The NBA is right now is investigating, this whole incident, and he's liable to get 50 games. So he could actually miss the rest of the season and possibly the playoffs. So he could have really cost his team this year. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm hoping for the best for him. I think he might need to get some mental health, honestly, because you can't be doing stuff like that. And I always say, it's the company you keep, and the company that's around him is definitely not looking out for his best interests, because he should not be in no type of foolishness like this. He is an up and coming superstar for this league. He has shoe deals that's about to drop, a bunch of commercials that's about to drop. He could potentially be the best player in all of basketball in the next 2 to 3 years. And right now he's putting himself in jeopardy by doing a lot of this foolish stuff. And I think that his pops needs to actually act like his pops and not like a road manager, and sit him down and be like, look, son, I understand you like to roll with these kind of, the environment where we came from. We can't do these type of things anymore. We got to go beyond that. You got to go past that. And I just don't want to see him throw his life away, like some other NBA players have done over the years. I mean, there's been a handful of them that's been caught up in a lot of drama and a lot of foolishness, and their careers have been cut short because of it. I don't want to see that happen with Ja Morant. I actually like him. I told y'all on draft night that I thought that this dude is going to be a Hall of Famer. I said that he's gonna be better than Zion Williamson. I told y'all that.
You look right so far. You look right.
I said that. I was like, yo, he has all the makings of being a superstar, a great player, and he still does because I think he won what? He improved his 3-point shooting. I mean, he did, but he improved in all aspects of basketball, and he's killing it right now with the Memphis Grizzlies. But I just think that he needs to sit down for a little bit. Get the help that he needs. Talk to the right people, and if you have to do it, you got to cut some of them friends off, man. Cut some of those bad influences off, because we don't want to see you on the evening news because you did something stupid, or you did something that's going to cause somebody else harm for life. So whatever's going on with him, got to figure that one out.
Dre, I want to go to you next. I know Crevonte will get into it as well with Goofies, but he'll get his take as well. I want to get your take on this, man. Sad situation, in this situation.
Yeah, like Raj said, it's very unfortunate because this has happened before in the NBA, and for it to happen again now with John Morant. Now it may not be to the extent of Gilbert Arenas, but still there's still somebody that's done this before, and you would think that people have maybe learned their lessons over the years, and then to see this happen with a superstar talent, like you said, the way of John Morant, especially in a league that is transitioning from the LeBron Jameses of the world, the Kevin Durant's, into finding that next person. And John Morant does look to be that next person. How explosive he is when he comes with the dunks. The fact that you said the Memphis Grizzlies are in contention the way that they are. Just thinking about some of the other young talent that's in the league, like the Zions, the Trey Youngs of the world. And John Morant seems to be that guy to kind of elevate and propel his team to the next level. But situations like this just cannot occur, especially when the league is searching for a face and you could be that face. So I think this is a learning lesson that he can get past. But at the same time, like Raj said, this is when you lean on your parents, you lean on mentors, you lean on people who know and want what's really truly best for you. And if that means cutting some of the people off that aren't going to help you to propel, then so be it. But hopefully this is a learning lesson for John Morant, and he doesn't get beyond the 2-game suspension, because it would be unfortunate to miss that superstar talent in the NBA playoffs and even into next season.
Crevonte, I know you'll go in a little bit later as well, but I want to get your thoughts on this as well, man. Tough situation. Somebody we've been rooting for.
I hate when my young black brothers get into situations like this. It's bad enough that there are so many outside forces that we cannot control, that we drop the ball on things that we actually can control. Rod is absolutely right. And it's one of the main reasons why people get into goofy situations and why a lot of athletes go broke is the company you keep. John Morant's parents were both athletes and both very much in his life. So it's just it's hard to fathom that that this is happening to him, or he's doing it to himself so late in life. This usually comes from somebody who is a little bit younger, still trying to find themselves. And granted, John Morant could still be trying to find himself, but don't you mess up your profession on the way to doing that, man. You absolutely cannot mess up your profession, and you don't have a regular profession. You in the entertainment business. You making a wild amount of money. You making generational wealth money, and you about to jack it up trying to impress who? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Byron, I'll get into a little bit later, but Raj took the words right from me, man. I am very disappointed, and I was high on him coming out of the draft too, because he put Murray State on the map with the stuff that he was doing in that NCAA tournament. And I was like, oh yeah, I like that guy. And on draft day, his pops was there, and I was like, oh yeah, black men, there it is. There it is. We love to see it. And now to see that this is going on, it's like, yo, what's up, baby? But yeah, bottom line, I am very, very disappointed. And him and his village has to do better.
Yes, let's give a big shout out to our guy. He's a day one Flex Zone family member, Mark, Mark, the boy. I mean, Mark, we appreciate you, brother. Mervo's finest. You hear every stream.
Word, Mark, word.
Every video. You're always commenting. You're bringing the jokes. You're bringing the realism. You're bringing just the overall love we have here on the Flex Zone podcast. I mean, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know what else to say, man.
Thank you, good brother.
It. Thank you. Much love, Mark, man. And anything you need from us, brother. Mark's one of our admins, one of our mods, so we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the $20 donation. You can join Mark and donate as well, like Rod said, with the super chats. Still 3 away, I believe, from 1,300. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And thank you. Shout out to my mom in the Flex Zone Palace.
Dupes.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Well, love you guys. I saw Crevonte's mom here as well, telling me happy birthday. Much love. Miss Queen was in here. Happy birthday. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the love. Can't thank you enough for all the support because it's a labor of love, but I appreciate all the support for the videos. But like Crevonte, we'll get into that a little bit later with Goofies, but let's transition. NFL. A lot of dominoes starting to fall with free agency as tomorrow is the official deadline for the franchise tag. We'll get into that shortly, but there were some moves named today. Raj, I see you shaking your head. Derek Carr, he's going to the Saints. Geno Smith, he's going to remain with the Seahawks. Your boy. Crevonte, I'll start with you since you're at the top of the screen. I'll run it back. Your thoughts on the Derek Carr contract? What does this mean for the Saints? And Geno Smith, not really a surprise he's remaining with the Seahawks, but I think he's getting $52 million up front. And I think Derek Carr is getting a 4-year deal, $100+ million all guaranteed in that range.
Yeah, so Geno Smith is getting a lot of that money front loaded. I believe year one he getting about half of it. I think he said 50 mil in year one. And I said, wow. Wow, what a negotiation. Because listen, with this how things go in the NFL, you much rather have that money front loaded as opposed to back loaded, because who knows if you'll make it to the end of that contract. So big up to Geno Smith. Had a phenomenal year last year, making it to the playoffs, and you know his the beginning of his career wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be able to bounce back on the other side of the country and make a great impact is awesome to see. And also he's reaping the benefits of it, and we are getting an opportunity to see it. So that's really good. Big up to Geno Smith for that. Loved it. Now for Derek Carr, man, probably one of the smartest moves he could have made. One, getting out of the AFC. Getting out of the AFC West. Great move just doing that. And now not only getting out of the gauntlet that is the AFC, we're going to the NFC, and not just any NFC division, the NFC South.
Might want to sprinkle a little money on that, Crevonte. That might be a nice little bet.
Listen, man, I wish I'd have known he was going ahead of time because I'd have got more value out of it. But exactly. But it's all good. He's going to the NFC South. And
you could put names in the hat for that division, Crevonte. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm saying, but with Derek Carr's name in there now, he's the best quarterback in the division. right now. And he's honest and for real, he's going to the team with the best roster in that division. You know, so I think this was an amazing move because now you got to go through the Falcons, the Panthers to make it to, and the Bucks to make it to the playoffs. Hey man, if you gonna take a second shot at this, because what happened in Vegas was trash. It wasn't right. It wasn't fair. But you have an opportunity. You have the chance to get another opportunity. Take it, but to the NFC South, because listen, it ain't that many great quarterbacks in the NFC. It ain't that many great teams in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? And now you have a chance to win your division, and once you win your division, you get a home playoff game. And New Orleans is a tough place to play. So, if year one, I mean, obviously, we're just talking on paper, and I'm just speaking out loud. If they could win this division and get a home playoff game and even get a win, that's a win for Derek Carr, and it's a win for the Saints in year one. That's not bad at all. And again, there's no real great, quarterbacks out there. So there's going to be opportunities to compete. And Derek Carr is no slouch. He's solid to me. You know what I'm saying? So you bring some stability to the Saints quarterback position that hasn't been that since Drew Brees era, which seems so long ago. But now they could possibly get back to some form of relevancy. So I think it's an amazing move for Derek Carr.
Dre, I'm gonna go to you next. If you're there you go. Your thoughts on these two big signings? The first two dominoes to fall, as many more are coming, and free agency officially starts next week. Franchise tag deadline tomorrow. Derek Carr, $100 million guaranteed, and Geno Smith, $52 million in the first year.
I think that this is I thought it was great for both men. I think Geno Smith proven what he was able to do with the Seahawks as the comeback player, leading them into the playoffs, because a lot of us thought that the Seahawks were a dead team. We didn't believe in Geno Smith. We thought that once the departure of Russell Wilson happened, that this team wouldn't be the same, but this team was able to galvanize and rally around Geno Smith and propel themselves into far beyond expectations of what we had, especially within that division. When you think about the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams within that same division, and then for them to be able to make the playoffs, for the Rams not to make the playoffs and have that Super Bowl hangover. The 49ers, of course, leading the way, but to have those teams within that division. I mean, at one point, we thought that even the Arizona Cardinals might make the playoffs. So for Geno Smith to be able to do that this year, hats off to you. And I'm glad that you got your money. As far as Derek Carr, to me, that just it really makes a lot of sense. I mean, we were thinking about teams like the Texans or the Panthers was a team, or the Jets. But when you think about the Jets, I mean, do you want to face Bill Belichick twice a year? Do you want to face Tua and Mike McDaniel as head coach right now, and the things that he's doing over there with that organization? Think about
Josh Allen.
I mean, you just think about what's going on. Like you said, Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you already went from one hard situation in the AFC West, and now you're going to the AFC East. No. And then you think about, like I said, the Panthers would have been a good one for him, but I think that Saints roster is just so slept on that people don't realize the multitude of talent that's over there. Just really needing a quarterback. And I think that this team could have made some noise last year had Jameis Winston not gotten hurt. But he took a shot on Derek Carr. You know that you need a quarterback. The right pieces are all around there. So why not? So I'm happy for Derek Carr. And also, he's able to work with veteran receivers and veteran players, as opposed to going some places like the Panthers or the Jets where they're younger. He can work with people that he'll know will mature and that they're all ready to go. And there's not going to be a whole lot of pushback because of the age difference. So I think that both signings were really great. And then even with like Lamar Jackson, he didn't get his money yet, but the Ravens, like Ingraven said, if he does not get a deal done and they put the franchise tag on him, Lord knows the storm that may happen upon that.
Raj, I'm gonna go to you last because I'm gonna come back to you first on the next topic, which you know where we're heading to. But go ahead, bro. Your boy Gene Malenko getting paid.
I don't got too much to say on these two topics. Gene had a great season. God, man, Gene. He had a great season. Geno Smith had a great season last year with the Seahawks. He looked good for 1 year. Let's see what he does this coming year. Since since he's been in the league, he's been pretty much a perennial backup after his first couple years with the Jets. But I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got $52 million. He earned it for last year. So let's see what he does this year. As far as Derek Carr is concerned, I think he made the correct move going to the Saints because he's been in the AFC for a very long time, and the AFC is really tough. So the NFC is weak right now, especially with Tom Brady leaving that division, and that division is up for grabs. So the Seahawks, I mean not the Seahawks, the Saints still have a great defense. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Michael Thomas or a couple other pieces that they have, but they're going to have a chance to do something. But we'll see what's going on with Derek Carr. I don't think he's won any playoff games when he was with the Raiders. Not even one. I think he's been in the playoffs twice, but he's never won a playoff game. But we'll see if it changes. That's a lot of money for a quarterback that hasn't really done much in 9 years, but that's the going rate though. So
I think that he has done a lot. I think that's just been overcoming the disasters of the then Oakland Raiders to now the Las Vegas Raiders. And then we didn't even go into detail about the last head coach that they had and still being able to make the playoffs. So to me, Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. Some people have, like Colin Cowherd, my boy Gabe Ortiz, they say that he's about 12th. I say that Derek Carr's right on that cusp of 10th. But I think that he belongs in the conversation because of what he's been able to do over the years. And then again, I would love to have a Raiders fan such as Sean Yost come back on the show so that way we can discuss the Raiders. But I think that Derek Carr really is a good quarterback, and they're talking about putting in Jimmy G to replace him, but it's not going to be the same as it was with a gunslinger the way of Derek Carr.
I think they want Aaron Rodgers, Dre. I think that's what they're trying to get, but we'll see what happens with that.
I mean, the Jets want him, the Raiders want him.
Somebody's going to be asked out. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start with Dre. Because you're on the screen. Lamar Jackson's contract. We've been talking about it ad nauseum. There's a poll up you guys can vote on tomorrow, 4 p.m. Look for a video in your sub boxes by 4:30 from yours truly, because I'm gonna talk about it. Looks like it's going to be the franchise tag, probably the exclusive where he cannot be touched by another team. $45 million. Have until July to work out a long-term deal, but there is an option possibly of a trade, which I don't think there's ever really been a trade when a guy signed a franchise tag, especially the quarterback position. But your thoughts on the contract update? What it looks like we're headed towards what I thought all along is a franchise tag.
You did say that. You've been saying that, and I remember when we had Engraven on, and he was saying that if the Ravens give him the franchise tag, that'll be a mistake. Dan Orlowski said that from ESPN as well, that it would be a mistake to put Lamar on the franchise tag. Byron, though, you did make great points when you said if he stays under the year, under this type of offense, proves himself. But I think that Lamar Jackson has already proven himself. The only thing that we can't understand is if he wants a fully guaranteed contract or he just wants the second most guaranteed money in the league. So that's something that still has to be distinguished. As far as the contract when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, though, I think that the Ravens have to legit just come to a deal, like you said, lock the doors and just be like, look, we're going to pay you this much in guaranteed money, and the rest of it can be incentive based or whatever, just so that way the two sides can come to a medium. Because I agree. I think Lamar Jackson is worth a fully guaranteed contract. I think he is worth more money than Deshaun Watson. and I think that Deshaun Watson was just an anomaly. But it also set a precedent for Lamar and other quarterbacks to follow, because I'm curious to see what other quarterbacks, how much they'll get with their guaranteed money, if they'll settle or if they'll want more. So it's a lot to unpack, but we hope that here in Baltimore that the quarterback is here to stay for years to come.
Let's go to Raj. He's over there looking like he just lost his best friend. I mean, what I always say in the chat, Raj, woosah, woosah. It's going to be okay, man.
Woosah.
We're going to be all right. We're going to get through this together. You know that, right? We're going together. We're here for you. You can unpack it, like Dr. Jones would say if she was here.
You know what, man? We've been going through this for the whole entire year. We've been talking about this subject every week. And this organization, this team has embarrassed themselves to a point of no return. To the point that turtle wax, that this compound right here can't even fix them. They can't buff the scrapes. That's just lying in the organization now. They can't buff it out, Byron.
Nice plug, Raj. Nice plug.
They can't buff it out. They can't. And I just, for the life of me, man, last week was another embarrassment. You have Rashad Bateman going after, Eric DaCosta, and then you have the Ravens interviewing Anthony Richardson, the combine standout, because he looked good in underwear. And then you have the press conference from hell where Eric DaCosta, calls the wide receivers, they're less than, pretty much. So that's what made Bateman call out Eric DaCosta. Well, it was just a bunch of crap. And then on top of that, Eric DaCosta goes from the NFL Combine and goes to Miami to go see Lamar. And doesn't stay in Miami and get the damn deal done, man. He leaves without getting the damn deal done. I don't understand. I don't. For the life of me, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, now Byron, you did say that they was going to have it's going to be a franchise tag. A lot of people done said it's going to be a franchise tag. The whole NFL world said they're going to get a franchise tag. Yeah, we get it. There's a franchise tag. Great, whatever. But these people had they had 3 years to get a deal done. They had 3 whole years to get a freaking deal done. And they waited till the price went up, went up, went up, and went up. And Lamar Jackson has been steadfast that he wants what he wants. And he has not budged not one bit. He is stoic in his approach. And I must commend him. He has not budged on that price deal. Because you know what? He's going to get what he wants, whether it be here or somewhere else. Now, what will the Ravens do tomorrow? What type of franchise tag are they going to have? I have no idea. I really don't know. I've been going through this through my mind. I've been having headaches sometimes, and I've just been in flux. Like, these idiots might actually give him the non-guarantee. The non, whatchamacallit, franchise
Non-exclusive.
I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, you better not. You better not. The Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, listen to me clearly. Don't you give them that non franchise tag, that non-guaranteed franchise tag, that $32 million. Don't you do that. You better give them the fully one, for the $45 million one. And you better work out a deal with them, because if you give them that non one, Atlanta's going to get them. I'm saying right now, Atlanta's going to give him that $230, guaranteed contract, and he's going to be gone for two first round picks. And we're going to be looking stupid. We're going to be looking crazy. And you know what? This might be a first that I say this, because I have never said this. But if that happens, Eric DaCosta's job is going to be on the line. And I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but damn it, next year, he's going to be gone along with John. They'll be going together. So this is the biggest moment in Ravens franchise history. right here, this is the biggest moment because that they have never been in this position before. We have never seen this before from this franchise. They have never been destroyed all up and down, the television stations and radio stations. They have been a franchise where everybody loves them and everybody adores them. And they're like, oh my God, we would love to be like the Ravens. We would love to be, a franchise like this or whatever. They have been goofy this entire year, and it would not surprise me if they continue that trend tomorrow. It would not surprise me. It would not. But this is the coming of Jesus moment for them. What are you going to do tomorrow, Ravens? I suggest you make the right decision and actually just give them the $45 million and continue to negotiate with Lamar. Because at this point, if you lose him for some damn draft picks, you're going to lose this fan base. That's all I got.
Crevonte?
Hold up, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was muted for a minute. Look, we've literally been talking about this, like Rod said, every week. Somehow, some way, it gets into the news because it's a hot topic now. What is Lamar Jackson worth? What are the Ravens willing to pay? Going back and forth. Lamar Jackson. I heard reports that he wants a fully guaranteed contract. Then I heard reports that he didn't necessarily say that. And I heard Ravens organization speak, and they said, they not doing fully guaranteed contracts. I said, well, that's not great. That's not great news. I think it's not a question of whether Lamar Jackson should get paid because he absolutely deserves to get paid. Now, just like Dr. Jones said, what is your worth? You know what I'm saying? And if the organization does not have your best interest at heart, or at least get close to what you feel like you're worth, because I guess at the end of the day, most athletes don't get what they think they're worth, and at some point we have to settle on this way, negotiate. If the Ravens do not get close, I think Lamar's out of there, because Lamar's like, hey, even though Lamar is young, this career in the NFL is short, and absolutely, as a young black man, he needs to get his money, get the generational wealth, and keep it pushing. I loved him for the Baltimore Ravens, but if it's time to move on, unfortunately, it's time to move on, because you're talking about. Hey, Rod said that Lamar Jackson's not budging. Hell, the Ravens not budging either. And we got two people not budging. We got two people not compromising. We got two people not negotiating. It looks like we're talking about two individuals not doing this. They go their separate ways. No different from an organization and an individual. If nobody's budging, all right, well, looks like peace out. And at this point, shoot, might as well get some draft pick, get something out of him, because he up out of here sooner rather than later. But I absolutely think it should be if you really seriously want to work on a long-term deal, then do the exclusive tag. If you want to roll this dice and see if Lamar Jackson's market is really what Lamar thinks it is, do the non-exclusive one. And worst case scenario, you get two first-round picks. But my thing is, I don't want them to give him this is what I don't want to happen for the Baltimore Ravens or Lamar Jackson. Because if they end up giving him the exclusive tag and don't come up with the long-term deal, it's gonna be the exact same as last year. And the fans don't deserve this, and Lamar Jackson doesn't deserve this, to go through this mess 2 times.
Well, Real quick, I want to hit one more last topic before we get to Goofies. Crevonte, your thoughts on the combine, and is it needed? Should it end? I mean, should it be moved location? Should it be done differently? More guys invited, possibly?
So I I go back and forth with this all the time because obviously we understand what it's for, but watching it sucks. Like because it has such a negative connotation from where us black folks came from that we got these from of the Caucasian variety from the Caucasus Mountains, stretching out our fingers and telling us to jump, telling us to run. The idea of that sucks, but I understand the point because it's all relevant to the sport that they're paying millions upon millions of dollars for in television, entertainment, and all this stuff. But ultimately, watching guys in underwear work is not a great sight. It's not anything I'm looking forward to. But I think that's I think pro days should be more of a push. I do think it would be something to explore if we just talk about pro days instead of the NFL combine that's always in Annapolis. Because as you can see, what's going on, folks are not really performing. Because back in the day, if you got invited, you're doing everything. Now we got guys slowly starting to, hey, I'm not running. Hey, I'm not throwing. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Bryce Young didn't do anything. And it's kind of similar to in college football where guys are sitting out bowl games. It's just becoming like it's almost not needed, I guess. It's almost not needed in a way to, and especially if if the guys have an agent, that's probably what the agent gonna tell them because we're not gonna risk injury. You're gonna be a top draft pick. There's no reason to even do this. So now the combine ends up being a bunch of guys who are not necessarily top prospects and they're performing, which can be a good thing, but it kind of takes the sting out of it. All-Star weekend, Saturday night. Nobody wants to perform. The top guys don't want to play. So it's like, so we need to do something. So I think pro days need to be pushed a little bit more, and maybe not so much in the NFL combine.
So I'll just say this real quick, and I'll make it short and simple. The NFL combine is for the guys that you don't know about, really, or that you have questions about. The Anthony Richardsons of the world. The guys that go out there to put on the underwear and look great.
Go ahead. Say what you call it. Shout out to Big Reg in the building. What do you call it? What do you call it?
Slave combine.
There you go. Come on. Don't hold back now.
It's for that type of foolishness. Now, the guys that you've seen in college that look great, the Bryce Youngs, the CJ Strouds, they don't need the combine. You already know what they can do. I mean, you've seen them on a college field. They look great. They're champions. They look like they can be champions. They don't need to do none of that crap. But the Anthony Richardsons of the world and the other guys that are, the tweeners, they need that kind of stuff. They need that kind of mess. But other than that, it's just the underwear Olympics. That's all it is, man. It's something for the NFL to put on. And they like to go see those guys, see how fast they can run, see how many, reps they can get on a bench press. It's just a bunch of foolishness, honestly. That's what it is.
Not them working in the drawers.
In their undies.
In his drawers. Man. We recently talked about the NFLPA, DeMar Smith talking about the combine and how it has racist connotations to it. I agree. I mean, I don't really see a point of it when there's plenty of tape out there, game day live action, where you know if a guy is good enough. Well, to me, the combine shouldn't make or break your NFL draft status. You already seen it. You already know what you're getting. So use that. Um, and as far as ending it, I think that, like I said, I think that it should end. I just don't see a point of it. And I'm thinking about other sports that have that would have something, and they don't. They have, I mean, tryout days or stuff of that nature, but nothing to the degree of what the NFL has. And then to put it out there, I think the most we get out of the combine is Rich Rich from
Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen running every the dash in Slippery Earls. I think that's the most we get. So if that's the case, then no, in that, and we can do something else better.
Let us know your thoughts. Big Reg, appreciate you. Mark, appreciate you as always. Let us know your thoughts on the NFL Combine, what needs to be done, the NFL free agency news, what do you guys see coming, and what do you see tomorrow with this Ravens franchise tag deadline?
I'm scared. Is what I am. I'm afraid.
Trust me,
it's been goofiness all until this point. It's just been goofy. Everything has been goofy. So I'm afraid.
It's gonna be okay.
They better get it done at the 11th hour. I know that much.
It's gonna work itself out, and they'll have until July. So we'll talk about it some more because they'll have until July to get a deal. And if not, he'll prove if he's worth that fully guaranteed this year, and we'll see. And if he does, if he's selfish and doesn't show up to camp and comes late with the new OC and doesn't show up to mini camp and those types of workouts, we'll see that Lamar is all about the contract and not about the team. And hey, it is what it is. Get your money. I trust in the Ravens organization. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like I said, it'll be some Ravens content this week, of course, as always, as we inch closer to that deadline and free agency, a little bit over a week away. Crevonte, are you ready to get goofy, my guy?
Y'all show long, but yeah, let's get into it.
All right, it's time for Crevonte's Goofies of the Week.
Gosh, something wrong here.
I won't miss it. All right. Welcome.
Did you hear Goofy? Did you hear Goofy? Did you hear Goofy?
Yo, I don't hear anything.
Okay, all right. It's okay. It's okay. The people out there, if you heard Goofy, let me know. But go ahead, Crevonte.
Well, if you heard, all right. Well, as long as the people heard it. So welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by this Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the world, America, the folks of the interweb, the good people, what I thought was goofy this week. And this one was one of the relatively easy ones. I just have one for the sake of time, but it's one we all know and love. But before I get into it, I have two levels of goofiness, and they all associated with colors and teams that represent them. So we have low-level goofiness, where we just laugh about it, we ha-ha, we kiki about it, and we leave.
Yeah. There you go.
Wait a minute, make sure I'm back on.
Yep, you're back.
So, all right, that's a bet. Low-level goofy. Green. Jet green, Packer green, because the Packers are being very, very goofy as of late. Letting Aaron Rodgers and them go in the dark and be to himself and all that other stuff. But that's the low-level goofiness. Now, the high level, red. The Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals in red is the goofy that is out of control. We need to talk about it. We need to figure out what's going on. How did we get here? Why are we here? And how do we get away from here? So yeah, that's basically my levels of goofiness. And like I said, for the sake of time, I just have one. And unfortunately, it is Make sure I pronounce the name correctly. Demetrius?
Tegoofius? Is that what you said?
Tegoofius?
Yes, Tegoofius.
Is it Jamel Morant?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Something like that. Mr. Demetrius, aka Ja, has been in the news. Has been in the news a lot lately, and I even have a timeline. Let me just pull it up of a bunch of goofy things that he's been a part of pretty much over the last month. And we're going to start. Okay, let's start here. February 5th of 2023. So they said on January 29th, the Grizzlies emerged victorious in the 112-100 win over the Indianapolis Pacers. But drama ensued after the game, and there was reports that Pacers staff members felt that they were in grave danger after acquaintances of Grizzly star Ja Morant aggressively confronted members of the Pacers traveling party near the team bus as they were loading. And later, someone in a slow-moving SUV, which Morant was riding in, trained a red laser on them. NBA looked into it, and they cleared Morant. That's one thing. Next, let's jump right to earlier this month, March 1st. The Washington Post released a story after obtaining police reports saying that Ja Morant was involved in 2 incidences last summer. First, Ja Morant was accused of repeatedly punching a teenager in the head during a pickup basketball game on his property before he went to his house. Grabbed a gun, put it in his waistband, and flashed it at the teen. Morant told detectives he acted in self-defense after the teenager threw at his head, and reportedly said, "I'm going to come back and light this place up like fireworks." Probably was more explicit than that, but we'll leave it there. Now, the second incident. Ja Morant's mother was at finish line at a local mall when she got into a shouting match with a store employee before calling her son, who showed up with 9 of his friends. They began heckling the security guard. They even pushed him in his head before asking what time he gets off, in which the guard obviously took that as a threat. Out of a police report, and nothing else came of it. And of course, the most recent one on March 4th, Memphis they get blown out of the Nuggets, and on Friday evening, and that night, Ja Morant proceeds to hit up a club with some of his friends, ultimately hopping on IG Live in the early hours of Saturday morning and flashing what seems to be a firearm of some sort. Man. Ja Morant, I'm confused. Ja Morant, I am confused, brother. You are one of the absolute superstars in the NBA right now. You are one of the faces. And this is not how you need carrying yourself. You just signed, I want to say he just signed a $200 million contract. He's making generational wealth type of
$231 million.
231 of them things, excuse me. He's making a lot of money. And the fact that he's operating this way, it's absolutely absurd. We was talking about it a little bit earlier, and the company you keep is very, very, very important. The village that's around you is very, very, very important, because they can help uplift you, or they could help tear you down. And in this case, John Morant is being torn down. And I just don't understand why. He has two parent household, both of them athletes, and both very much in his life. And it's just crazy to me that at this age that he's choosing to go down this path now that he's already in his profession and making all this money. For the life of me, I don't understand. I was a huge fan of John Morant when he came out of Murray State. Oh, Mark said we have Ja Rule on the line. Ja. He said something about murder. I don't know. I can't. It was kind of breaking. He said something about murder. I don't know. And I'm like, Ja, we're not getting into this. So please hang up the phone because we're not talking to Ja Rule right now. But it's very, very, very disappointing. I need Ja Morant to understand that he has the world, basically the world at his fingertips. And he could do a lot of great things with the assets that he has right now. But this just ain't it. This ain't Ja. I need his dad, because we saw that his dad was there with him on draft day. So his dad is a prominent person in his life and in his village. I need his dad and the people that's close to him to have his best interest at heart, to sit him down and tell him that he's doing wrong. And at the very same time, he needs to absolutely eliminate those that are bringing him down, that's making them feel like this is okay. Like there's absolutely no way if I'm in John Morant's camp, I'm letting him come in the club with a gun, let alone flash it on IG. You have too much to lose. I hate to see these things happening to young brothers. I don't know why he's trying to act hard, gangster, a thug. Whatever you want to call it, a street dude. I don't know what he's getting out of this, or who's promoting that in his camp. But it ain't cool. It ain't cool. And John Morant, you're better than this, and you have entirely too much to lose. Entirely too much to lose. You have a nice, well, God willing, a nice long career, healthy career, and you can make a lot of money and a lot of generational wealth, and have a lot. There's already a lot of kids that love you, so they're looking up to you, and you out here showing the yada meme on Instagram. That's not cool, because now they gonna think it's cool that you do that. Now I don't know what John Morant's stance on him being a role model, because we all heard Charles Barkley back in the day that said, I ain't nobody, basically I'm not anybody's role model. But I hope that John Morant is taking this a little bit more seriously, because he's really in tune with, or maybe I should say, this generation is really in tune with him, from his moves on the court, his hairstyle, even down to his shoes. So all I'm saying is, John Morant, do not throw this away. Hopefully he learns from this and he becomes a better person, a better player, a better man. Because also, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day and throughout the day, he is also a father. He is a father. And his baby girl is going to need him in her life. So it's in John Morant's best interest that he does not throw it away. But that's it. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And John Morant, and unfortunately, his village currently on the wrong end of it. Got to do better. Get it together.
Gosh, something wrong here.
We do have a very, very special guest who would like to join us. First lady of the Flex Zone, Queen Mia. She's been waiting patiently. She wanted to hop in. She has something to say.
Oh,
I want to get her in
Whoa!
before we get out of here. Fellow Commandalorian, much like Crevonte. And we got the Rojalorian here, the meat man. She was with Raj yesterday
oh Lord.
eating meat.
Oh,
Queen
God.
Mia is back here, the first lady of the Flex Zone. Needs no introduction, but we're going to give her one anyway. Queen Mia, how you
Hey.
doing tonight?
Thank you. Thank you.
Fit
Thank
for
you.
Queen. Queen, you wanted to hop on. You know I'm gonna give you the time of day. You can join us.
I
anytime.
did. Especially while y'all were talking about the combine, because for a long time I really thought that I was the only person that was just like, this is very performative and I don't like it. This is very racist. And then if you were to look into the history of the combine, back in the day, black men were the only ones that had to do it.
Mhm.
They were the only ones that had to perform in the combine to prove that they were good enough to compete with the white men. That's how it started. It didn't start off with everybody doing it. No, they started off with because they were like, all right, well, this is a little bit racist. We want to play too. They were like, all right, well, if you're gonna play, you're gonna perform. So it was just like you really thought we were getting away from you think at that time we were getting away from being in the shackles, and they just always find something to really dehumanize us, and especially like black men. They always want to humble black men for whatever reason. And it's always really, really painful to see it. I've never liked it. I don't even like it when they do it in WWE, when they did it in NXT. I didn't like that then either. Albeit, they were, everybody was in it and it didn't really seem as performative as the NFL one does. But when you look at all the prospects, they're mainly black, especially in the NFL. So it always just, never been something I've been comfortable with. So I'm just really glad that was something that you guys addressed. Really was touched that you guys touched on it, in general. Also, happy birthday, Byron.
Appreciate
I know
you.
it's a couple minutes past it, but still, you can celebrate all week. It's your
Hey,
birthday.
we celebrating all month. We celebrating
It's
Wednesday.
period.
I
It's
know.
your birthday. It's your
We
birthday.
turning up. We turning up.
It's your birthday.
No voice. Did you have a good time yesterday at Jimmy's with the meat man?
This happened because I caught like a code. Roger, back up. Back up. The meat was always all right, but I didn't have this. I had this for a couple of days because I had like a cold or something. I don't know. It's been attacking me. It's been attacking my whole immune system for some days now. I don't know what it's about. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna start making TikToks. So I just wanted to tell you guys and tell everybody watching. Okay, I'm gonna post my first TikTok this week.
You want to take over our TikTok account?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah,
especially because I learned how to like work everything as I was putting all my content together from Sunday. I learned how to work it, and so now I feel like I'm kind of a pro at it. So I'm very excited to post my content. Wow, Mike, that's so rude.
You leave Raj's meat alone. It was delicious.
It was. Really good.
It was.
Hey, shout out to Ant in the building too. Ant was with us last night, day one. Appreciate you. Safe travels, bro. I know you moving. Crevonte, Ant from Vegas. He's in here. That's Jimmy Dean. He's moving to Texas. So safe travels, my brother.
Period.
Always going from Vegas to Texas?
Yes, he's going from
wow.
one.
Oh yeah, he did say he was he's going to Houston, right?
Yes, he's going to Houston. I think he had like a 20-hour drive. So he might be driving now. So we appreciate you joining us.
Safe travels.
Safe
Let us know
travels,
when you make it.
Anything you want to touch on, Queen Mia? You excited about? You enjoy Revolution? You enjoyed the meet from Raj?
I did.
Enjoyed John Cena tonight?
Revolution was actually really good. I can't wait to talk more about it on Wednesday because I'll definitely be in the Flex on Palace as usual. I also am hoping to have at least a placebo kind of like shirt for the Flex Zone. I was messing around with some different fonts and stuff, and I think I really found like the one. So I'm hoping to show that to y'all on Wednesday. But if I don't show it on Wednesday, then maybe I can just drop it in like our chat or something on Friday.
Yeah, we'll probably just put it in the chat this week.
I'm really excited about it.
Get that to you.
And that
one more. Go ahead. Anything?
Nope, that was all I had to say. I don't have anything else to say.
I gotta get your opinion on one thing.
Yes.
You are a fellow Commandalorian, like our good brother Crevonte in the top corner there. How do you feel about this?
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for
I need you to turn it off.
Who are we?
I need you to turn
Thank
it off.
you.
Did you hear, also real quick
Thank you
while
for
we got
telling
you,
him to
while we
turn
got
it
you,
off.
Queen Mia? Did you hear our new? I don't think Crevonte heard it either, but I'm gonna play him for you since you're here, Queen Mia. And then we got so just some big things coming for the Flex Zone. So
Yes, I love a soundboard. Okay, I love a soundboard.
We'll work. Queen Mia, appreciate you. Yes,
of course. Thank you for having me. Have a good night, y'all.
Thank you. Once again,
too.
Queen Mia. We'll see you Wednesday. Much love. Hope you feel better. Thank you.
All right, Queen Mia.
Thank you.
I'll be there later for you on Wednesday.
She got the Charmel.
I'll be there for you on Wednesday.
Oh, God.
All right, Queen Mia. Thank you. Have a good night. Oh man. And that is all we have, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 383 in the books.
Speaking of the book, make sure y'all get the book.
Go ahead, Trey. Yes, let them know.
Yes, get the Good Doctor's book, like we said, on Amazon. And look, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Not only this episode, but all our episodes.
How can I keep up with you, Dre? And start the day with a cup of Dre each and every day on WEAA.
Hey, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. On Good Morning Baltimore. Of course, you can catch me here every Monday with my brothers. Happy birthday to my brother Byron. We definitely got to link up, brother. So let me know what you're trying to do. And it's Women's History Month, so we got more great women coming on to the show for the month of March. So stay tuned, y'all.
Yes, appreciate once again Dr. Monifa Jones, who joined us today. We're going to give her one more round of applause for her awesome work that she does. Check out her book. We posted it down there below for you guys. Episode 384 will be next week. As mentioned, we are continuing Women's History Month as well. Executive producer is Andre Melton. Senior producer Crevonte Heard. The Commandalorian. What can the people expect coming soon? Some goofies. We got some new Commander stuff. Any news with the Commanders coming up, or we're waiting to see what happens?
You're on mute.
I think you're muted, brother.
I guess Dan Snyder. Does Dan Snyder mute him? They don't want him.
Jeez, Byron, what you doing like Tony Reale on Around the Horn, man?
I'm trying to unmute him. It won't let me. Hold on, let me see. Because it said he chose to mute himself. I guess Dan Snyder. We'll just do this then.
Lord, please stop playing this song.
Commanders, we fight for RDC. Who are we? Commanders. Those hate.
He was muted. I'm trying to unmute him. He doesn't.
He might have to leave and come back.
Okay. All right. Let me see.
I'm convinced that y'all have too much time on your hands.
Hey man, we just trying to make the show. Better, man. We're just trying to add interactive things, make it fun.
I'm saying with the song, y'all have too much.
I know. It's thanks. And Rise, let the people know how to keep up with us on social media. What we got coming this week to the channel. Back to normal.
Well, we're gonna have something very special coming tomorrow because there will be some Ravens news. I'm pretty sure of it. Also, we have AEW Dynamite recap Revolution a little bit with the crew. Not sure what's coming up after that though.
So we got Selection Sunday.
Week. That's right. Yeah.
God's favorite host will be out of town this week. Breaking news. So next week I may not be here, but we'll do something before the tournament starts. If we don't do it Sunday, we'll do maybe a special live because I may I'll be out of town and not here for episode 384, but I'll probably be in the chat and in the comments. So we'll figure something out. We'll get all that content to you guys regarding NCAA tournament, getting our Final Four predictions before the tournament starts next week. Crevonte, you're back.
You.
Yep, you can hear
me.
And any comments, anything we should be looking forward out there?
So we're still gearing up. Sooner rather than later, the team should be sold. There are a couple guys that's hitting free agency that potentially looking at. I'm hearing Orlando Brown is going to be available. So any guy that used to work with Eric Bieniemy is an option. So, but the biggest thing right now, the next big domino to fall will be the selling of the Commanders.
Well, we will keep our eye on that. We'll have more Commanders news as free agency gets started as well. Again, thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody for the birthday love. Again, shout out to Dr. Monifa Jones. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. Vote on the poll. Ravens content coming soon. Orioles content coming soon. NCAA tournament content coming soon as well. Like I said, I'll probably be out of town next week, but we shall see. And the content will keep coming. It'll be here. We'll be here Wednesday live as well. Only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
Throw your ones up. Acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. God's favorite host with the Moist. Thank you guys for the birthday love. Flexzone1@gmail.com. Flexzone1 Twitter, Instagram. Flexzone podcast on TikTok. Stay tuned. Things coming to the TikTok and merchandise coming soon. You heard it from Queen Mia herself. She'll be working on some things for the Flex Zone as well. Big Reg, thank you, man. Appreciate it. I hope you had a great birthday. I know your birthday was last week as well. Appreciate all your support. Hey, Brian, what's up? Appreciate you as always. Thanks for the birthday love. Always here as well. One of our day oneers. Always here for all the content, Brian. I know you can't wait to see what happens with the Ravens. I know you want them to pay Lamar. Roger's cousin, Brian. We appreciate you, brother. Much love. It's going to be all right, Brian. Relax. Get your cousin, man. Tell him Musa. But appreciate all the love, all the support. Everybody tuning in. Again, Dr. Jones, thank you. We'll continue Women's History Month. For Crevonte, for Dre, for Raj, and God's favorite host, the host of The Moist. We're celebrating all month. Super chat.
Hit that super chat button if you want to donate. Byron, it looks like he done left the building. Like his Wi-Fi done just said, screw it. It's so good. But we're going to be up on out of here. So we will see you guys later. Until next time.
We gone.